Phase aware successful. Aircraft will take off. Take off.
Welcome back. So it's been a bit, like a month, it says YouTube, since I've done one of these. And if you're new to this and if you're stumbling on this video, I'm Jake Steiner. We talk about vision improvement. I used to have -5 diopter myopia. I now have 20/20 eyesight. I never did eye exercises, never did LASIK, and never did baits, at least not successfully. So if you're just stumbling on this, look at links below about the basics of how I improved my eyesight, and then maybe come back to this video. So this one is, people ask me, or we talk a lot about the mechanics of improving eyesight, of improving your distance vision, how to get more stimulus, how to deal with focal planes, how to reduce your diopters. A lot of the videos you find on my channel are all about the how do you do it. But you notice that I usually put little bits of real life at the beginning or at the end, or both. And the vague attempt there is to remind you that life is what you're looking at, right? It's not just about the mechanics of how to improve my vision. Of course, that comes first, but then eventually you have to ask yourself the bigger question of, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? And how do I integrate this with a bigger picture of life? And to that end, people always ask, so what else do I do? You know what I mean? Because you want to move from living in front of screens, from passively consuming life, from consuming content that's the life of other people or corporations or made up stuff, to slowly migrating towards living your own life. And what I found most effective there is little bit of changes. It's just like when we talk about the mechanics of improving your eyesight, it's all about habit changes, right? Like you learn the basics, you learn what causes myopia, how to reverse myopia, and then you make little habit changes to get there. And one of the habit changes is using more distance vision, right? Like the more you're staring at screens, the less you're able to provide your eyes with a stimulus to improve distance vision. And so you're slowly, ideally, looking to migrate more of your free time away from screens. And that's why, as the title already suggested, today I've got this tiny little drone, and it's part of this whole idea of how do I fill my free time with distance vision. Because, you know, you do your work and then you want to relax, and it's really easy to relax in front of YouTube or TV or whatever it is that you might do. What can you do that's more enticing than that? And I'm always on the hunt for little bitty things. Like, for example, right now is no wind out here. Maybe I'll have more footage of this later, but that's the beach somewhere out there. And today there's no wind, but I'm in some beach town in Vietnam right now, and kite surfing. And I'm spending as much of my time as possible doing things like this, finding things like this. I started the kite surfing last year. It's a great distance vision activity. You're always looking at something, the kite in front of you, you're looking at the ocean, you're looking at waves, you're looking at other people. It adds hours and hours of distance vision time for me. But of course, not everybody can do that. And this is where the drone idea is another one of those little things where I'm done with work, right? Like I'm sitting in front of my screen for a few hours, and then this is a tempting thing to play with. And I don't know for how long, but now this adds like another half an hour or an hour between setting up and changing batteries and goofing around of time that I'm very much focused on the distance. And that's why I kind of like this flying things thing, because especially if you fly line of sight, not staring at the screen, what the drone outputs, but you look at it as you're flying it around, and you're flying it between trees, and you're flying it up, and you're flying it down. The whole time, you're actively focusing on seeing that drone. So if you get a half an hour of that, if you get 20 minutes of that, 4 or 5 times a week, that is really quality focused distance vision time. That's not an eye exercise. That's something that's tempting to play with. And this is probably equally true for kids. And I'm not endorsing anything here. I'm just thinking out loud in terms of what I would try to tempt like a teenager with, maybe, of finding things that get you away from the screen. right? And I love this thing just because I don't care about the video footage, I don't care about all that stuff, but I love flying it around. I love that it gives me 20 minutes. And you might say, well, 20 minutes is not really that much, but it adds up, right? You don't want to look at becoming a goat farmer tomorrow and moving into the mountain. It's just about little tweaks. This is 20 minutes, right? It costs, I don't know, $500-600. Add up how many hours of focused distance vision time this buys you compared to paying full retail for a pair of glasses. It's fairly easy to go to a shop and get high index lenses and a fancy frame and spend as much as this costs on a pair of glasses. So look at this cost as an investment into distance vision, right? Like, how many hours is this worth? So what does this thing realistically cost you per hour for as long as you use it? And that's how you might look at it, because it is expensive, certainly, and you could break it, certainly, and it's illegal in a lot of places. It's illegal in Vietnam, which I'm not flying it in Vietnam, and it's illegal in India, and it's illegal in a bunch of places. But if where you are it's legal to fly these, consider it, right? And as you add that 20 minutes, see what else happens. What else do you find along the way? Like, kite surfing was a random thing for me. I was sitting on a plane and I was sitting next to 2 kiting instructors just on a random trip, and they kind of encouraged me, gave me the idea that kite surfing might be a thing. And now that adds, it's maybe only 2-3 months out of the year, but for 2-3 months out of the year, this adds 3, 4, 5 hours of distance vision to 3, 4, 5 days a week for me. That's huge. In the big scheme of things, that does a lot for distance vision. You might be skiing, you might be, you know, picking up bike riding, any kind of thing that points you towards distance vision, towards enjoying your life, right? Like, if you're at -5 diopters now, I started out -5 diopters, it'll make a bigger difference to your life experience to be at -4 while you're also using your vision and you're actively looking forward to the -4, and then you're looking forward to the -3, and then you're looking forward to the -2. All these things are not just some abstract number thing. You're thinking, okay, at -2 you'll have much better vision with and without glasses, and that's something you can then enjoy, apply to your outdoor fun whatever habits. So this whole ramble, and I guess all my videos are rambles, is just to point you to while you're figuring out the mechanics of improving your eyesight, also make little changes. Nothing drastic, nothing huge, just little things that kind of get you towards enjoying more distance vision because you're doing something that you use distance vision for. That's it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.
Falling down, I should have stopped, but I do not know how. Just for now, let's make things right. Love